There are many reports of black people being refused at border crossings in favor of white Ukrainians.
They had a protocol for the entry to the border, and the protocol was that 10 number of the 10 Ukrainian locals to one number of foreigners to gain entrance to the Polish border.
Blacks were somewhere else, and other white colored skin were also somewhere else, and they were actually moving a little bit faster. The blacks weren't going at all.
Did they separate the queues?
Yes.
So black people were in one queue and white people were in another queue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Really? So you have a country that is Ukrainian people. They're white people, and there are shit tons of them. And what's on the other side of the border but limited resources, Rashawn? Limited resources. Should they just put all the non-white people ahead of the white people? Is that what should happen, Rashawn? So that black people don't have a unique suffering, because they're already suffering 10,000, each and every one of them, could be 13, suffering 10,000 years on their shoulders of oppression. Even if they're billionaires or millionaires, they got in there on their Learjet. There's still millions of years of suffering. Isn't that right? So it doesn't matter that there's limited resources on the other side. It doesn't matter to Rashawn that the non-white people in Ukraine could be the same non-white people that some of these countries like Poland were trying to keep out because they could not vet these people. And even though when you have people come in from places in the world where they are unwilling to take records and to have a life of recorded activities, recorded misdeeds, recorded of jail sentences, records of all of these different things, in countries where they don't do it or they can't do it, you kind of want to not let those people in because you can't vet them. You don't know what's going to happen. And in countries where they have just said to the totality of mobs showing up at their border, obviously the majority of them are going to be good people. But in those mobs, when you can't vet people, there are a lot of other kind of folks as well. And those people then come into your country. And then you have a white little girl somewhere, for example, who is part of your family, your racial family. And her family has a contract, a societal contract with the government in which they've granted rights to the government, certain rights that are theirs in return for protection. And then she gets preyed upon by some of these monsters. These anti-white monsters come from weird places where no records are kept because some other white person wanted to villainy signal that they were a good person by allowing everybody in, and then betting that by the sheer numbers of the population, the odds that their family members would be brutally gang raped and butchered and found in a hole somewhere in the woods were slim. It would just be your little girl that happened to. So you have a million people pouring into Poland or whatever it is, and I can absolutely see them saying, we're taking the folks that we know are the Ukrainians. We didn't allow everybody in here last year, and we're not going to allow just anybody in here this year just because they're fleeing war at the moment. And besides, on this side of the border in Ukraine, nothing's happening. The Russians aren't there slaying all of the civilians. If they are reporting to us that there's this endless stream of civilians moving into these other countries, primarily Poland, that must mean it's pretty peaceful there, or the civilians wouldn't be crossing the border there. So if it's pretty peaceful, sit down, shut up, and be respectful of the civilizations that we build. SOB, this is our house, and we decide who comes inside.
Yes, there's been a lot of segregation and racism from the people who've managed to actually get to the passport control. It seems like there's a hierarchy of Ukrainians first, Indians second, Africans last.
That's exactly right, motherfucker. That's exactly right. White women and children. That's who gets to get saved. Sit your ass down. And then once they're taken care of, then we'll see what's left for you. Look, when it comes to anybody fleeing war, good people, I want all people to be able to get away from the hardship, all people to get away from harm. I want everybody to be safe. That's my personal position. But this anti-whiteism, us before you white people, to your goods that you produce, to your civilization that you produce, every last one of you to hell. Sit down and shut up. No white, yeah.